Princeton traffic, 3 Romeo Mike's departing runway 28 Princeton. Princeton traffic, Tiger turning base, 28 Princeton.
The power of flight has been used for over 100 years by people, beginning with the Wright brothers in 1903. It has evolved today to where the average person can learn to fly. I wanted to see how flight had evolved since then. So I took a trip to Central Jersey, to Princeton Airport, where I learned a little bit more about planes. First, I wanted to take a look at the plane I'd be flying in. So I sat with Steve Nierenberg.
So this is what one of our flight school planes looks like. It's actually, this is a Cessna 172. It's actually the most popular airplane in the world, this particular model. It seats 4, it's a good plane to learn in, and also it's a good plane to own. You know, if you want to go places, take some friends, you know, take a spouse, visit people, throw a pet in the back, you know, relatively small pet. And you'll also notice that, you know, gee, the wings are on top of the fuselage, but unlike other planes. But the wing is here for a couple of different reasons. One, there's a fuel tank, and if you can listen carefully, I'm going to shake the wing. You can make out that there's fuel in the wing. This plane has 2 fuel tanks, one on either side.
So when you want to go up, you'll see the yoke come up. That's you doing this, which makes the tail go down and the nose go up. But in order for you to go up, you have to have enough speed also. So you have to put speed into it. This is turning right. You can see this one goes up, that one goes down. Makes this wing dip, less lift. That one has more lift, so it does this. And
So why should someone learn how to fly?
I don't think it's a question why they should, because it's something when they take their first lesson that they go through some experience that is so personal to them, that hits some inner core, something very deep inside of them, that when they come down, their smile is so broad and it also so personal that they cannot explain what occurred to them to a loved one. That it means so much to them, that whole experience of watching the wheel separate from the ground for the first time over your left shoulder. And then the instructor will show a few maneuvers, and then when the instructor says, "You are playing," that sense of control in the air, the first time that anyone's ever experienced it, it is so awesome. Might be an overused term or overused word, but it's almost indescribable. Like, you cannot describe it, because when they come down and they're asked by their spouse or their parent or brother, "Well, how was it?" Their language is bankrupt. They cannot express the joy they had.
What are some of the words you've heard to describe?
Awesome, amazing, I can't believe it, I gotta do it again. I can't tell you, you gotta try it.
At this point, I was interested in what brought them into this fascinating hobby that they chose to make a lifestyle. So I asked DeAndre,
What got you interested in becoming a pilot?
Basically, I wanted to be a pilot since I was a little kid. When I realized when I would go on vacation, this was back in the day before, you know, cockpit door had to be closed, kids could go into the cockpit. I like being in the airplane more than actually like being at my destination. So ever since then, I always wanted to be a pilot, so I followed it all the way to now.
now that we know a little bit more about planes, let's take a ride in one. I took a flight with Peter.
And into the setting sun we had.
What's your name?
Peter,
Alright, so how long have you been a pilot?
since 1963. Yeah, I learned in the Navy and flew for Pan American and TWA.
What interested you in becoming a pilot?
Since I was a kid, I built model airplanes, and primarily it was the science of it all. Just intrigued me that you could make an airplane do all this.
Do you have any interesting teaching stories?
Oh, I've had students try to surprise me, but I generally don't let them do that. Kind of a successful instructors don't get surprised. No, I've had some very good students. I've had some that I've told to go buy a boat.
So why would you tell someone to fly?
Well, I if someone wanted to fly, I would encourage them to learn, because just the utility of the airplane, you can go almost anywhere with this. I mean, we're in the air right now. Where would you like to go? If we had time, we could go up to Boston, we could go to Washington, D.C., we could go to Chicago. It would take us a little longer. This airplane to Chicago is about 600 miles, so it's about 5 hours. So it's not exactly an airliner, but you have freedom to move around. We can go anywhere in the United States. We have the most liberal aviation rules for qualified pilots anywhere. As long as you're safe, you can go anywhere you want to go. So it's the freedom, it's the skill level to learn a new skill, the education, learn about weather and aviation, aeronautics, engineering, that kind of stuff. It's all, just the fun of it. After all these years, I put the airplane on like a coat. It's me who's flying, not the airplane. I'm just putting myself. I'm the airplane, and that's what we try to teach people to be able to do. Just feel what the airplane is doing, and controlling power and pitch angle. The nose is what the airspeed is. It was very smooth tonight. There's no wind. You can see this is Carnegie Lake here, and there's no wind on the water, so it's absolutely calm. Yes. This is Tiger Stadium. This is Princeton University. And Carnegie Lake, the boathouse is right underneath us where the rowing team is.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like what you do?
Well, right now I'm sort of semi-retired. I was most recently I was the chief pilot at Princeton Airport, so I was the senior instructor, and I'm still sort of, emeritus now, because I just part-time, but I fly a couple of days a week. I'm going to be 72 years old, and I'm still able to do this. When I can't do it, I'll quit. In the Navy, I flew multi-engine turboprop airplanes.
So we interviewed Steve, and he said that the first time people always have like unspeakable words, like to describe like how their experience with flying for the first time. What are some of the words you've heard?
No, I've awesome, unbelievable, beautiful, so peaceful, all kinds of stuff like that.
So if you had a nervous person flying the first time, what would you tell them to calm them down?
I tell them to fly the airplane, for one thing. The people who get nervous in airplanes don't have control over the airplane. If we can have them realize that they can make the airplane go up and down and turn right and left, then they have some control, and because of that, they tend to calm down generally. Also, if I have a very nervous person, I'll open the window or keep it cool so that they don't get sick. That's the biggest concern that I have, is anybody getting ill. But the nervous comes from unknowing and not understanding. And the more you can explain, the calmer people tend to be. I used to do a fear flying course at TWA. We used to take people up in a 727 after a 2-hour or 3-hour course. And we'd put them in a simulator and let them fly the airplane. And these were business flyers who had to fly for a living, We had pretty good success rate. So the idea of landing the airplane is to keep the aim point, which is the numbers on the runway surface painted the 28 there, and I just keep that in the same place on the windscreen all the way down.
So what have I learned? In the 50s and 60s, pilots were heroes and the bravest of men. However, many of the crafts they controlled have become safer, so the type of person that can fly is no longer restricted to only the daredevils, military men, and heroes. Today, anyone can experience changing their perspective and the thrill of flight, but those people aren't gone. The ones who know a plane inside and out, they're still out there, and they still love what they do.